know the hate it. I know the hate it, and only keeps me motivated. Ain't fuck friend, they overrated. If you can get money, but show the hater, can't talk around him. He might blow the cape. I gotta thank the Lord, cause I know I'm favored.
Yo, what's up? It's Culture Experience with your host, Swinny Boy. I have my guest, the one and only Captain Curt. What's up with you, bro?
What's good, man? What's good?
So, we're going to touch base with some of your creators and everything like that, get into your producer. So, you had some of your accomplishments. Multi-platinum producer, made that South Carolina top producer list.
Yes, sir.
Signed to Winner Circle, Warner Chappelle. Chapel.
Yeah.
Okay, your producer creators are NBA Youngboy, Suki Hana, Pee Wee Longway, many more.
Yes, sir.
So let's touch base on many more. Who else have you produced for?
I got a record with Future, Bankroll Fresh, Lil Mexico, Jose Guapo, Pastor Troy, one of T.I. artists, Young Boot.
Okay.
I'm all the ones I can really remember.
That's a big list right there, though.
I think it do a name Lil PJ. Yeah, Lil PJ. That's all I can remember right now, man. I got some unreleased stuff, but that don't really count, you know.
Hey, man, it count for something, though. So let's go to the beginning, though. Let's start with, before we get into Captain Curt. Who is LaCurtis?
Oh, man. LaCurtis, young dude from growing up out of South Carolina, Great Court, South Carolina, small town, man. I actually wanted to be a basketball player.
For real?
Yeah, man. I was nice on the court.
Okay.
Real nice on the court, man. Got into music, though, because I actually got hurt playing basketball.
Really?
Okay. So I picked the music up after that. I was supposed to have a knee surgery, but I was like, nah, man. So that's how I really got into the music.
All right. Since we touched base on that, let's go into it. What is your musical background? Like, how did you first pick it up? Like, who was the person you said, like, yo, I got to try this shit?
My pops. Yeah, man.
Okay.
My pops, my name actually comes from my pops. My pop was a DJ. His DJ name was Captain Curt. And he used to do like mad parties in the city, pajama parties, DJ that out like my school. He used to do all school parties and stuff. And he stopped DJing. So I was just like, can I take the name? You know what I'm saying? And I was following up with DJing too, but it just went into me starting to produce. Where actually the producing part came from, I was rapping.
Right.
I started making my own beats.
I used to be that way too. I was like, yeah, it ain't for me.
And then I was like, yeah, man, I ain't feeling the rapping, man. My passion was the producing, so yeah, that's how Captain Curt come about, man.
Okay. Now, what age did you start producing?
15.
15,
man. Yeah.
Like 15, man. You worry about producing. You ain't worry about no girls, nothing like that.
I was doing that too.
It's all right.
Yeah. I was producing and recording everybody in my city, man.
For
like,
real?
yeah, I was 15-year-old recording people, producing people, paying my own cell phone bill, just off of the music, man.
What was your first like machine and everything? Like, what do you know about it? Your first machine?
Well, I had a regular keyboard, like a Yamaha. That was my very first piece of equipment, and then my uncle gave me a beat machine, like an MPC, real small.
Right.
And then after that, one of my homeboys, like my brother, Al Toon, man.
Shout out to Al Toon. I know him very well.
He introduced me to Fruity Loops, but before that, I started making beats on PlayStation.
PlayStation? I've heard people say that though, but I ain't never like actually witnessed it though.
Yeah, man. It was a game called Music Generator, and then it was another one called Funk Flex. Like it was like a two versions or whatever.
Right.
So I started out on PlayStation.
Okay. Now, how do you describe your style? Like your working style? Like if you get like driving with your family or something like that, you get inspiration, you got to go right to the studio and make it right then and there, or how you do it?
I mean, if I'm at home, yeah, but like riding, I try to keep the ideal in mind. That way when I get to the house, I can do it. But a lot of the time, man, it comes from feelings. Whatever I'm feeling at the moment, that's the type of vibe I go off of. If I'm in a loving mood, I'm making that loving type music.
Right.
Or if I'm going through some pain, man, I'm making pain type music. Like I had a relative real close to me that passed.
Right.
last year, and I couldn't make nothing but pain music. That's all I was making.
feel you on
know
that,
what I'm saying?
man.
But so that's how I really work, based off of my feelings and stuff.
So let's go into. Excuse me. I saw a video about an interview with Murder the Beats. He was like, doing a beat with Zay told me I used to take like an hour, 2 hours. Now I'm doing it like within 10 minutes. From when you first started up until now, how long did it take you to make a beat?
Oh man, when I first started, it was about 30 to an hour.
About 30 to an hour.
Yeah, but now I'm making 30 to an hour. I'm probably making about 5 to 10 beats in that time frame.
Damn.
Really, I can knock out one beat in about 5 to 7, between 5 to 7 minutes.
All right, now let's talk about. Have you ever helped an artist like improve their song? Like when they got finished, you like, maybe you can do this verse first, this one second, and like, what is their response when you say it?
Well, yeah, with local artists, yeah, most definitely. That's what I like to do, man. Artist development. I like to work with artists, get my input on, the record, and try to just get the best out of it. That's what I like, and normally they with it too.
Okay. Now let's answer this for you. Is it hard to do a remix to the original when you make a beat?
Nah.
It's not?
Nah.
I was, be honest with you, I thought like listen to it, the original, then doing a remix, I thought it would be hard to do a remix to the original.
Not well now, like, what I mean by now is like in today's time,
right.
A lot of people might take a acapella, like say if you got a Summer Walker song.
Okay.
You take an acapella and you create a beat around that song. Mm-hmm. And we call those remix too. You just upload them on YouTube and stuff like that. So it really just sharpens your skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to school for producing?
Nah. In middle school, I was in band though.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that,
I was
that
in
helps.
band, but I ain't go to no like Full Sail and that like that.
Okay. Now, the biggest accomplishment you had was the platinum plat with NBA YoungBoy. What was your mindset when you got that call?
Hey man, okay, story time. All right. So I was out of town on vacation, and I was like, I'm gonna take my music with me. Mm-hmm. I went to matter of fact, I was to the mountains. My family go on a mountain trip every year, and different scenery, different vibes. So I'm like, all right, I'm finna cook up. So I started working, and when I was done, I was like, hey, who do you hear on this beat? And they was like, sound like NBA YoungBoy. And I was like, that's exactly who I hear. Okay. So I called my manager at the time. I was like, man, I got a record, YoungBoy, kill. He was like, send it to me. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. He was like, I'm sleep, getting ready for work. You know what I'm saying? I'm sleep. I work third. He was like, congratulations. I was like, congratulations. He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, what's up? He was like, you made YoungBoy record. I said, man, stop playing. Man. And what's crazy though, that was his first album he dropped since he had got released out of jail, so it was a big deal.
Wow, that's very amazing.
Yeah, it's all about manifestation, man. I'm big on that. I believe in it 100%, man. Right. We create our own destiny, man. So
now, when you start to cook up and everything like that, do you automatically know it's going to be a hit, or it kind of takes a minute for you to know, like, this is the one?
Oh, nah, you'll know during the process. You going to feel it. Like, in the middle of making the beat, you going to feel it. You going to know if, hey, well, this is a hit right here. But for me, man, I go into every record with the mindset of
it's going to be a hit.
Yeah, whether it's R&B, I do pop too. And whether it's R&B, pop, rap, it don't matter.
Okay. Now, tell me, what are the responsibilities of a music producer?
All right, so you got music producers and you got beat makers. This is a conversation that everybody go back and forth.
All right,
with,
break it down between the two.
Your beat makers. I was once a beat maker.
Okay.
Beat maker is a person that make the beat, and I just sell it to you.
Right.
And you do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Producer is I make the beat. I get in the studio with you.
Okay.
I help you arrange the record. I tell you it should be this way. It shouldn't be that way. Try this. Try that. So we're gonna oversee the whole project. So that's the difference between the producer and the beat maker. So back to your question, the responsibilities is to be there and oversee the record. Okay. From start to finish.
Is it hard to transition between the two, from going from being a beat maker to a producer?
Yeah,
more hands-on?
Yeah, especially when you quiet. Like I'm a quiet person. I don't really just be out there
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? In the mix like that. But yeah, at first, yeah, it definitely was. Unless it's somebody I'm comfortable with, like that's totally different then, because you're comfortable with that person, like family.
Okay. So that goes into my next question. Like, how do you connect with an artist when you in the studio with them, or you making a beat?
That part right there, man. It's all about vibes, really. If the vibe off, y'all ain't gonna connect.
Right.
Nah, it'd be more so work, you know what I'm saying? But at the vibe there, then it's easy to connect. You'll know, you know what I'm saying? Going into it right out the gate, you'll know. So that's it's been times where I've been in sessions and stuff like that, and it done been awkward. But
For real,
yeah.
like if you can without giving the person away, like what is the vibe like when you say it was awkward?
For one, like if you cooking up, you got somebody standing over you the whole time. They telling you to do this.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like,
that's like being at work. You a supervisor. Like,
exactly. You being micromanaging. It's like, you the rapper, I'm the producer. Let me do me.
Okay.
I promise you, I'm gonna deliver. But at the same time, you gotta give the artist what they want to.
Right.
But it can get awkward though, man.
All right, now, what is your vibe when you in the studio producing? Do you, like a rapper, you gotta have a whole lot of people in there when you producing, or you just you and everything else?
I don't like a lot of people.
For real?
I don't like having a lot of people in there, man. But if I have to, I adapt, but I'd rather not. I mean, a lot of times I come with the beats on deck already. I already got them made and everything. But if I had to cook up right then and there, I will. But I'd rather it be me, the artist, and the engineer, truthfully. I mean, if they got a couple people with them, that's cool. But being in the studio with 10, 15 people,
right.
I don't like that.
I feel you. Do you feel like as a producer, y'all don't get enough recognition?
Yeah, most definitely. Because I feel like this. I feel like the engineer and the producer are the start. You know what I'm saying? Without us, it is no artist.
You can say y'all the point guard and shooting guard of the basketball team.
Yeah. Exactly. But I feel like we get overlooked, overshot, by the artist. And a lot of times, man, the artist gonna eat before the producer do. Especially if the business not right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as a producer, do you own your song? Like whatever beat you produce, do you own that?
Part of it.
You get a percentage of it?
Yeah.
How does that work? Without giving details, going into like how does that work and everything like that?
Your publishing, your point percentage, and stuff like that. My bad, I think I'm kicking the mic. But your publishing and your point percentages and stuff. That's when your lawyers and stuff come into play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure you got a good lawyer, good attorney and stuff like that, and you'll be good.
Have you ever felt it difficult to work with an artist? Like you produced a song for him or her, he listened to it or she, and like, nah, I want you to tweak that. And he's like, I don't spend all this time on this beat. And like, I gotta tweak it.
Not as a producer, but when I used to engineer, yeah, that's part of the reason why I stopped engineering, man. The artist wanting so much and not fully. I don't know. That's a conversation. I'm trying to think to say it in a good way. All right, so you pay for a service,
right?
You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists get it confused. They think that you can come out the studio with an A1 mix.
Okay.
But you actually have to pay for that service.
Right.
So if you want this chopped up, you want this reverse, you got to pay for that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when I was starting to get frustrated with artists wanting me to do this and do this and do that, but not wanting to pay for that service. So I just stopped engineering, man.
Now, I seen another video of another producer. He produced for J. Cole, and like he let J. Cole hit a beat, and he was like, I want birds added to the beat. Have you ever had an artist like that? Like, I hit a beat, but I want you to add this in it because this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah. I had one situation, man, where I did what he wanted me to do,
right?
But I ain't put my tag on it. I didn't put my tag on the beat. I was like, don't tell nobody I made this because.
Why you feel like that, though?
Because it wasn't it for me.
It wasn't it for you?
Nah. But he loved it.
So it has been like that. Like, if you make a beat, you don't feel like it's it, but it's it for them.
Yeah.
And but you don't want to put your tag on.
Nah, no.
So you don't want people to know, like, it's a Captain Curt.
Nah.
Damn, for real?
It might sound crazy, but for me, it's like, once you set a standard for yourself,
right?
You know, people like look for a certain thing from you, and then if I'm like, nah, this ain't it, for me, they're gonna be like, boy, what the world it do? But that was then. Now,
right.
I'm to the point to where I'm like, I'm open with it because, like I say, I do like EDM, pop, stuff like that. I just don't play stuff like that around here. You know, so I keep that in the tuck.
Now that goes. I'm sorry. That goes to another question. Like, you have a big genre of music. You don't just stick in one particular range, so you can go anywhere with it. How do you adapt when you go to anywhere? Like when I'm doing EDM, pop, rock, and anything like that. How do you transition from rap into one of those genres?
A lot of times when I'm like that, I'm at home by myself. Okay, so I'm already in my own zone, my own space, my own. You know, I might throw me some LEDs on, light me some candles, and I'm in a whole nother zone, like a whole nother
candles. Okay, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Like candles, man. You know, but that's really like I might find a plug-in. This plug-in is like a software that has different sounds in it.
Okay.
So I might find a plug-in that got like a crazy synth or something, and I'm like, this sound like some EDM. All right, let's see if we can do it. Let's take it there. And then that's how I, come about with that. Or I might be playing around and hear something, be like, boy, that sound like an Afro beat. Let's try to do that. So
now, what about when we get a Captain Curt album, like a DJ Khaled type album?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, most definitely. Actually, I'm in the works of that right now. Yeah, right now.
Now, going into that, do you find it hard to produce for yourself versus other artists?
Nah, so like for me, what I'm doing is working with certain artists. The way I'm doing it though, I'm not doing it like with industry artists.
Right.
I want to bring light to the indie artists,
gotcha.
The local artists. So what I'm doing is creating music for different artists. I'll be like, okay, I can hear like D Glory on this, or I can hear MB Montana on this, or I can hear like up and coming artists as far as like my artist, dude named Dre or Brazy Dre, or I can hear Taliban Teezy on this. These artists that you definitely gonna know about for sure. I'm gonna make sure I do what I can to get them to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Now, with it being local or in the industry, who is your dream collab to make a beat with?
Oh man, Drake. Oh, dream collab. I thought you meant artist.
I mean, we can do two part to the question.
Okay,
like dream
producer
collab
wise
and producer wise.
I'm a big time, like my all time favorite producer. It might sound crazy, so a lot of people might not believe it, but Drummer Boy is my all time favorite producer, man.
He hot as shit.
That's my all time favorite.
I ain't
producer.
heard it in a while, but yeah, he hot though.
All time favorite, bro. So it'll be Drummer Boy. I can do more than one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Timbaland for sure.
Oh, of course.
And Dre, you know what I'm saying? Them legends. Manny Fresh, he got that bounce. So I definitely want to do something with Manny. As far as like artists, Drake. That's Drake life changing.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, Drake, Broadway.
Right.
It's a singer, it's a white dude. Sherman, his last name. I can't think his first name. It started with an E. Is it Earl Sherman? I think. I can't think of Ed Sherman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
Bro, sound crazy. Like his sound crazy.
Now you name your industry rappers that you produce for. Who local have you produced for?
It was a dude. He had got killed in a shooting. Jug Money.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard
did
of
that
it.
record that was on the radio. I did that record. I produced for me and D Glory got some stuff that hadn't dropped yet. I produced for MB in Montana. It's a dude named Cuzzo. Not Cuzzo Carolina.
Okay. That's the only one. I was about to say that's the only one I know of.
I did some Cuzzo Carolina too.
Okay.
Yeah, Cuzzo Carolina. Man, honestly, to be honest with you, pretty much anybody in the city that rap, I don't work with. Truthfully, Lil TC.
Yeah, I heard him. What about Arson? Have you produced for him?
Me and Arson got some stuff on the way.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Got some stuff on the way.
Now, with you being for South Carolina, do you think you feel you have pressure to make it?
Yeah. At first, yeah. What I mean by at first is, of course, everybody want to make it out. Right. South Carolina's small. It ain't a lot of,
I mean,
it's hard. It's very hard. But once I seen it happening, I just started going with the flow.
Okay.
And just allowing it to work itself out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, what makes you stand out from other producers, whether it be local versus in the industry? Like this is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it.
Oh man, sound wise or just
Yeah, we do sound wise or just you in general, your personality. Like what makes you different? We can start with sound wise.
okay. Sound wise. I got the cleanest 808s. I got the cleanest 808s in the game, bro. Which goes into like my production team, bass guys. It was created based off of that, the type of bass I do or whatever. 808s, cleanest 808s in the game, man. As a person, I'm just real humble, like real humble dude. Cool vibe, cool to be around. So I'm welcome in any space. Okay. Yeah, any space. So I feel like that's what made me stand out, because you got some people that even once they make it, they get arrogant, get cocky. Facts. You don't want to be around them. That ain't me, because I feel like the same way you got it, it can easily be taken away from you.
Now, being from South Carolina, once again, do you think like some rappers who was born somewhere in South Carolina and then moved to another state, like kind of forget, like, I was originally from South Carolina, like don't forget it. Yeah.
It ain't just rappers though, it's athletes and everything, man. I don't know why. But
like you started in South Carolina, like we go back and Google, you from Greenville, like but you say you from New York or Chicago, like bro, you from South Carolina.
I don't get it. I couldn't do it, but
like once you get on, you gonna let everybody know I'm from South Carolina.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm from Gray Coat, whatever. I'm from South Carolina. Exactly. Let it be known.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with Chicago having drill music and everything like that, what's stopping South Carolina from developing their own sound?
Because sadly, the thing about South Carolina, bro, like it's nobody that want to step out and be a leader. A lot of people want to follow trends,
right?
And that's sad, but I mean, it's pretty much the reason, though. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's because we small, don't have a lot of resources and stuff like that, so we try to follow what's popping on the radio or stuff like that, rather than stepping out, being your own.
How do you think we should change our mindset about that? Like, stand out. Like, hey, we from South Carolina. We can develop our own sound as well.
Just do it. I mean, it's gonna take for example, Gucci Mane and Zaytoven. You know what I'm saying? So finding an artist that's willing to be open and to work with and build with, and create that sound for South Carolina. The same way Jetson and the Baby did. They created a sound. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, they created a sound.
Right.
They did. They created a sound. So I would say that is the South Carolina sound. But it's more to us than that, though.
Now, when you go into producing, do you find it kind of hard to make sure you don't use the same samples or loops, anything like that? So, like, when I hear one beat and I hear another, like, that kind of sound the same. Like, how do you venture towards that so you don't start producing multiple people? Like, Curt, I heard that like 2 songs ago. It might be different, but it sounds like the song you did for Jeezy.
I mean, it's really with the artist though. What's the artist's style? Like, what's the artist's sound? So if you're working with multiple artists, you're gonna have multiple sounds. It ain't gonna be just like if I'm working with Jeezy. everybody know Jeezy got a distinct sound, like trap. So it's gonna sound different from me working with Jeezy versus me working with Rod Wave versus me working with Future. It's all gonna be different. So that's one way, you know what I'm saying? But like for me, like I say, I try to create all types of music.
Right.
So I'm not just in a box.
Okay, gotcha. All right, now before we wrap it up, man, like give us some more things that you can try to tell us without fully leaking out that you have coming up.
But I mean, I'll go ahead and say this one. I do got a record on the way with Lil Baby.
Okay.
Also some projects with Saucy Santana. We're working on that now. And a couple other little camps those camps I can't speak on.
Okay.
But I got a couple other camps too that we're working on.
All right, one last thing. Can you speak on the camp that you assigned to without going into full detail? Like, how did that process come about?
Oh man, just relationship.
Okay.
One of the producers over there named Yak Beats. I had started working with him, building a relationship with him, And one day I just made a phone call. It was really on some business.
Okay.
That's how it came about. The phone call was really on some business. Me asking about different things. Do they have access to it? And he was like, yeah, send me, your credits, your percentages and stuff like that. And I got a phone call back and he was like, hey man, let's just go ahead and put it in ink, man. We're gonna go ahead and sign you to Winter Circle. And in the process of that, I ended up getting a publishing deal as well with Warner Chappell. So
that's good. That's dope.
But what's crazy, when I speak on like manifestation and stuff, man, I used to literally write in my notebook that I was signed to Winter Circle.
Okay.
And I used to say it out loud every day. And it actually happened.
Now, before we again, how can people reach out to you if they want to get a beat, anything like that from you?
Facebook, Curtis, Captain Curt Filson. Instagram, _Captain Curt 88. I don't really check my Twitter like that.
Okay.
I haven't been on Twitter in so long. So. But yeah.
All right, people, there you have it. Coach Experience with my boy Captain Curt. You already know who I am. It's your host, Sweeney Boy. Got my liquor coming out. La Culture is coming soon.
They get us a taste, man.
Shout out to Gym Complex. Hey, mama, I'm not in my room no more. So, hey, I'm on TV now, though. All right, man, we out of here.
That's good.